Hello guys, welcome back to my math class. This is Miss Heath. Today we're going to be talking about finding the slope. Finding the slope. The slope of a line in a coordinate plane is a number that describes the steepness of a line, how steep that line is. Any 2 points on a line can be used to determine the slope. Now, when we think of slope, we think about the rise and the run. There's a formula that we use called the rise and the run. The rise is the difference in the y values of 2 points on a line. The run is the difference in the x values of 2 points on a line. The slope is the ratio of rise to run. So that's the formula. So if if it's x1, y1, and x2, y2 are any 2 points on a line, then that's the slope of the line. And you see the formula right down here on the bottom. And that's how we write it. We divide it. Now, I'm going to take you to a specific problem. You can see here, if you're copying this down and taking notes, I'm going to give you a few minutes to get that written down. There's the formula. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to identify these ordered pairs on this particular line, on this coordinate. Now, I'm going to have a former student of mine come up and explain this particular problem. Come on up, Justin.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Great.
All right, on to business. We have 2 points, 4,5 and 4,3.
Will you show them where you're getting 4,
-3.
where are you getting those numbers from, please?
Okay, so I have 4,5 right here.
Okay, will you point to and show them each step of the way from starting from 0?
1,
For the x-axis.
2, 3, 4.
There it is right there. That's 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And that's on the y-axis. So 4 is on the x.
And 5 is on
And 5 is on the y-axis.
Then I have 4, -3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
Now, will you explain that?
Where I have 2 points on a line, I'm trying to find the distance between them in the pattern of the slope. The slope is essentially a pattern. So if you could move the camera over here to the left, there we go. I have 4, -3, and I have 4, 5. So what's my formula? Rise over run. y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1.
Now, I'm going to interrupt you for a minute because you notice how I color-coded them. The green is what? What axis is the green?
The x.
Green is the x. I'm going to go back over here. You can see that green is the x value. Okay? And the orange color is what?
The y.
The y. Okay? And then what we do, we take those and we plug those in.
So we have a negative as our first y value. So we have 5 minus -3. We put a parentheses over that. The negative cancels out and converts to a positive. So this would be 5 plus 3. I'll say that again. When you subtract by a negative, you wrap parentheses around it and convert it to a positive. Therefore, you replace subtraction with addition. Divided by 4 minus 4. This will give you 8/0. This normally shouldn't happen, but in the event that it does, we have a 4 for an x Okay, well, I'm just retreading all ground. I'm just going to skip over here to the purple. When a fraction has a 0 in its denominator, it is undefined. It's impossible to divide by 0. And if we plot it, as we've just seen right here, it's vertical. Most unidentified is either going to be vertical or horizontal. It depends on how the graph is plotted.
Now, when you say unidentified, what exactly do you mean?
Unidentified means the slope cannot be particularly identified. The line is vertical. Scroll down, please. The line is vertical, and all the x coordinates are alike.
So here it is right here in purple. When the slope is undefined, the line is vertical, and all x coordinates are alike.
Case in point, we have 4 for both of our points. We have 4 for our first value and our second value.
Absolutely. Both of those are 4. And when you plug it in right here in the formula, point to the 4s for me, please. There it is. Okay? So therefore, what term do we use to describe that?
Undefined.
Undefined. Undefined. Now, and also, I have it written out here again. It says when a fraction has a 0 in its denominator, you may want to write that down. It is undefined. It's impossible to divide by 0. Can't divide by 0. And it's always going to be vertical. Now, here's a little rule, a little note that I placed down here at the bottom for you. And it says, when we are given a line with no given points, we can pick any 2 points on the line to determine the slope. When we are given a line with no given points, now I don't have an example of a line with no points to show you, but when you take some of your assessments that I give you, you may see them with no points on it at all. But you can pick any 2 points. But it's easier to pick points where X and Y intersect on the grid line. Then we don't have to use decimals. So when I say intersect, what do I mean when I say intersect?
They come together.
That's right. And the word intersect means that they do what?
Come together.
Okay, perfect. Now we're going to get a little bit more involved. And as you can see, here is that example. And I'm showing you where the ordered pairs, how to plug in ordered pairs for the first point and how to plug in ordered pairs for the second point. So I'm going to try to zoom in on this as much as I can here. There you go. All right, Justin, if you would explain what's happening here.
Okay. When I say x and y1, I refer to the ordered pair of the first point. In this case, it would be 4, because that's the first point we see closest to 0. x2 and y2 refer to the second point, which is coded in orange. So our ordered pairs are 4, 3 and 8, 8.
Okay, but will you walk us through that and plug those in and show us?
Okay. So I'm going.
Count, each start at 0.
1, 2, 3, 4.
On the x-axis.
1, 2, 3.
On the y, going up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So that's where he wrote down there 8, 8. Explain that 8, 8.
8 on the x-axis, 8 on the y-axis.
8 on the x and 8 on the y. And
next we would follow the slope formula, as in slope equals rise over run, y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So we have 8 minus 3, and then 8 minus 4. I don't know why that ended up being a second 8, but that should be a 4. So we get 5 over 4. 5/4 is our slope.
so we need to change that to 8 minus
4.
4.
5 rising, 5 on the y-axis, and 4 on the x-axis. This means more than just a fraction, but this would mean in the distance between 4 comma 3 and 8 comma 8, I move 4 to the right on the x-axis and up 5 on the y-axis. Rise over run.
Rise over 1, and that is the formula for the slope. Rise over run.
Not to take up too much of your time, we have one more example today. If you could zoom in just a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going through my number line.
Just a minute. Okay.
I'm going through my number line. And I stop right here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 2, comma 3.
Okay, let me go and see where you recorded the 2 and the 3. Okay, so you identify the ordered pairs for point A, 2 and 3. I'm going to move over here again so you can see the ordered pairs, 2 and 3. All right, will you count those for me again?
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Perfect. Okay, and then what you did over here, you recorded them.
I move on to my second point.
Wait, excuse me, you're blocking the...
Oh,
Okay, go ahead. You're blocking.
excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my second point is 7, comma 5.
Very good.
So now I substitute the values for
Excuse me.
our formula,
Okay.
and I should receive 5 minus 3 divided by 7 minus 2.
Now, when you say substitute, are you plugging in?
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to plug in what you recorded on the graph. You're going to plug that in for the X and the Y. And when you plug that in, you follow the formula.
Yes.
Okay? Got it.
So I do my, as previously stated, 5 minus 3 divided by 7 minus 2. I have 2/5.
Now, do you need to reduce that?
Sometimes you will, but in this particular problem, you do not.
You do not. Absolutely. So, and here's another note that if the slope is a positive value, our line will rise to the right. If the slope is negative, the line will fall to the right or to the left.
To the left.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So let me go back and try to zoom back in on some of these so you can really get a chance to look at everything. I know it was I was so close that trying to record it that you might have missed what I was trying to show you. So that's the full scope of it. Now I'm going to kind of zoom in a little bit. Please, if you need to draw this out yourself, you should have a notebook. I'm requiring you to have a notebook. Also, I will put this YouTube video on my Google Classroom, and I will also find more that you can use. I'm going to go back and so you can look at this one again, get a close-up shot. You will be using and making and recording lots of graphs.
Thank you for having me, Miss Eve. It was good to see you again.
Yes, good to see you too, young man. So, that concludes our lesson. Just remember, rise over run, and there's your formula for the slope. Remember, the slope is the ratio of rise to run. Have a good one. Bye.